Welcome back to 3D Sounds. In today's video, we do things a little bit different. So instead of heading out to record sounds, we're going to show you a complete overview of all 32-bit recording devices that we currently own and use. These recorder ranges from Zoom to Tascam and sound devices, but we also own Sony recorders, but since they don't support 32-bit, they won't make it in today's video. All the recorders that we're going to show you are for our main purpose, and this is field recording. So you won't use them for content creation or location sound, podcast, music, recording, instruments. There are so many ways that people use these recorders, but again, for us and on our channel here, field recording is our main purpose. If you're using a 24-bit device right now and you would like to upgrade, or you're planning your first recorder should be in 32-bit, then I hope that we can show you several options here in this video. While 32-bit makes recording much easier on the go, it does require more work in post. For me, this is not an issue at all. First off, I love editing sounds, and also it is necessary. If you would like to provide sound libraries, then editing is a big part, not just editing the sounds, but also going through the metadata and description. So let's get started with the least expensive recorder to the most expensive recorder. Let's start with the first recorder, and this is always very exciting to me because when I started out with sound recording, I had a Zoom H1, then we had a Zoom H1N, and now we have the Zoom H1 Essential as well. I will use this recorder in airports or in airplanes, taxis, restaurants. So wherever I feel like I don't want to use the big gear, that's when these small handy recorders come in very handy. So really, if you just want to start out, get some affordable wind protection, plug in your headphones, go out, start recording, and then see where the journey leads you. Just like as I mentioned in the previous video, we started out in 2017. Sound recording is our full-time business, so who knows where you will end up if you start with a small recording device like this one. One more thing, if you think, the mic capsules, I'm not really happy with it, of course you can use external microphones, you can plug them into the line in. I use the Roland's for this, but some people using mic boosters or Lohm micro Ujis, and they're very happy with it. So then they're using this recorder as a drop rig, for example, for nature sound recorders. I didn't really use that before, so I don't really do drop rigs, but if I want to do this in the future, then I know that if I use a recording device like this and not something like, let's say, this, which I'm going to talk later about it, then this is a great alternative to get nature sounds. And if there is an animal that would maybe bite the cables, or maybe even an elephant steps on it, which happened to another field recordist, it hurts, but it's not that bad. If you would ask me, Marcel, what is your recorder for 2024? I think I would say it's the Zoom H2 Essential. It's really hard for me if I would have to make the decision between this one and the Tascam FR-AV2, then we're going to talk in a little bit about it. I don't know what it is, but when I was out with this recorder, I really enjoyed recording. First off, if you understand the function and what's all in here, it's absolutely fantastic. For $160, $170, we paid $180 in Thailand. The front microphones, the rear microphones, you have the MS capabilities. You can use line in here with Roland microphones or other lavaliers, like I mentioned before, the Uji Micro or mic boosters, not mic busters. It's absolutely fantastic. 32-bit, 96 kilohertz. What do you want more? Of course, in this video, I don't want to get into the technical details and about the sound quality, but if you want to see this video, this recorder in action, we made a video about here in Thailand. Feel free to check it out right here. Now, if you want to step up from the entry level and you want to have a recorder with XLR, the only one that we right now have here on the table in 32-bit is the Tascam X6. Talking about the price really quick, it's around $260 in the US. If you're thinking about should I get the X8 instead, I have this one as well, but not here right now, so that's why I don't want to include it. But there are a few options that you have on this one. For example, here we have 2 XLRs, there we have 4, but here we don't have the dual port. So if dual port is important, you may want to look for the X8. Also 96 kilohertz on this one, 32-bit, X8 192 kilohertz, 32-bit, if this is important for you. Also, this is one thing that I like more on the X6, and this is that you can swivel this one. On the X8, you have to take them in and out, which some people complained, which I also understand. And another feature that I would love to see in a future model, maybe it's possible, maybe not, that would be having a cage around the capsule just to protect them. So if you would like to have a recording device with touchscreen, then this one can give you this. Now, if you would like to hear this recorder in actions, we have 2 videos for you. And what I'm doing now is I'm gonna put these links to the other videos in our description down below so that you can listen to the recorder and not listening to me right now. Now, the next recording device, when this one came out, I knew it's going to be a big hit, and that was the Zoom F3. And I'm going to use this one, or I used it a lot with my ORTF kit, the Sennheiser MKH8040, but also with the DPA 4560s. I put all the links in the description down below if you want to listen to the XLR inputs, just to the sound quality with different microphones. I use it with my creative field recording kit that I'm still going to use it. So I have my ambient hydrophone back. It's gonna be used in this one. And also overall, just it's very robust. You can drop it. I don't want to recommend doing it, but it is still a fantastic device that I will definitely have on our journey. One of the downside of it that a lot of people were disappointed is that it does not have dual port. You can use adapters, but one of the big ones is that we don't have line in, so we can't really use it with external microphones. Let's say, for example, the Rolands or the Micro UGs. Now, we can still use these microphones here on the XLR ports, but yes, it was a deal breaker for some, but there is another recorder that will now fill this gap, and this is the Tascam FR-AV2. Oh, just about the price, it's around $270 right now. So if you are looking for something that is affordable, maybe you want to use it as a drop rig or for experimental field recording, then this is still a fantastic option. Let's talk about the new Tascam FR-AV2 just very briefly. But if you really want to know more about it, you want to listen to it, the pros and cons, I don't think that we ever put more effort and work into one of our previous videos than in this one, because we really enjoyed it. I went through YouTube comments, I answered almost all the questions that I could, and if you just want to listen to the sound quality, please feel free to check out the video. I really enjoyed using it, and I'm definitely going to use it more often. I will use it more exclusively with a new MS kit that I'm going to build, and also with my Earthworks QDC50. And the reason why is I'm using the Zoom F3 for my creative field recording kit, so I don't really want to mix the settings around. So that's why this recorder is for this kind of gear, and the other recording devices that I'm going to show you are for other recording gear, so I don't really mix stuff around. And if you're now thinking, yeah, but I just want to have one recorder, one that can do it all, and I gotta say, if there are any kind of things that you miss in the Zoom F3, you will find them in the Tascam. And here's another kicker. If you buy, for example, from IK Multimedia, the iRig XY, you can plug them on here, and then you have your own little handheld or handy recorder. Sentrans has the same option, but it's about $300. Here you can get it for 80 euros. So if you decide to buy that, I have not tested it. I'm gonna buy them, we're gonna order them, and then I will report back to you and see how it performs, just in case you're curious. But if you already wanna purchase it, feel free to do it. So just briefly about what you can use it for. MS decoding, you can use it with any line in external microphones. You can adjust the plug-in power between 2.5 and 5 volt. It does not have touchscreen as we have here on the Tascam X6, so you have to go around the menus again. If you already used Portal Capture before, then you may expect this. Maybe this is something we can see in a future version of this one, but for now, $400, you can use Bluetooth adapter. The Bluetooth adapter is not internal, so you have to buy this extra, but overall, great experience, great sounding recorder, and definitely worth the price. Now, when we talk about the next recorder, then I can tell you that I'm very excited about it and a little bit nostalgic, and this is the Zoom F6. This was the very first 32-bit recorder that I got, and when we're thinking about back in the days, it was 2019, I'm 2 years in, and everyone in the field recording community talked about Tascam, Nagra, sound devices, but from a financial point of view, I feel like I wasn't ready yet to make that purchase. And when Zoom brought out the Zoom F8N and of course the Zoom F6, it kind of bridged the gap between let's say, entry level and professional gear. So I think it's fair to say to call it semi-professional gear. And I was never been more happy to use a recording device like this one. And over the last 5 years, I use it a lot. I use it with all the gear that we purchased. You can even use it for ambisonic. Of course, there's no dual port in here, but that was never really a problem for me. We had Wildtronics microphones that we used within, all kinds of mono microphones, experimental microphones, the geophone. We made so many videos with this device. And if you would like to see this, then you're not just seeing a video about this recorder, you can also see a little bit of the progress, because for us, Libby and I, it was the first time ever that we are making a video in this kind of style that we keep on doing until this day. But just the progress and how it all started, this starts not just with the Zoom F6, but also with us and our YouTube journey when it comes to field recording and gear. Now, from a nostalgic point of view, if you would ask me, should I buy it or not? I would say yes, of course. But now it is almost 2025 and it is over 5 years old. And the question is, should we wait? Is there maybe another one coming out soon and you don't want to spend $650 and then maybe next month or next year you see a complete new version of this one, or maybe even Tascam, when we're just looking at the naming system FR-AV2, who knows, maybe an FR-AV6 is planned and launching in maybe 6 months or maybe even less. I don't know that. I'm just putting this out there for you to have something to consider. When we're talking about the technology that came out in this device in 2019, it still holds up. You know, it's very different than camera gear, which every year new camera gear. But with this one, even if you buy it now, if you just care about sound and you want 6 inputs, you want something that is light, then this is still an amazing recording device to purchase. There's a lot to talk about the Zoom F6, and I really love this device. That's all I can say. But if you have any more questions about it, feel free to let me know in the comments down below, and I'm very happy to answer. And now let's get to another recording device. Now let's talk about the Sound Devices MixPre 6 Mark II, which is the 32-bit version. And this is a recording device that you will see a lot when it comes to professional field recording and also people working on set. So why do we have that device? Now, after we upgraded from our Sennheiser ORTF to a Schoeps double mid-side, we already had this device, but then I really could figure out the power of this, because I wasn't really happy using the Schoeps DMS with the Zoom F6, because here on this one, the channel linking was just so much easier. You know, you put in 1, 2, 3, and then you link the channels here in the settings, and then boom, you can start recording. When we bought this device, it's not just about buying the device, you also buy service. And when I had questions, I reached out to Sound Devices, either per email, and they respond within 24 hours, or I went to the Facebook group and I always got the answers that I was looking for. So if you decide to purchase Sound Devices, you're not just getting a product, you're also getting great service. Of course, Sound Devices offers you other models that cost you over $8,000, but the MixPre series is the perfect entry recorder when it comes to professional audio gear. Let's talk about our last recording device, and this is also the most expensive here in our list, and this is the Sound Device MixPre 10 Mark II. And we can already see a big difference here in size. So if you are not really into big recording devices, then this might be not for you, especially if you don't need more than, let's say, 4 channels. For everything else, I gotta say, I'm not utilizing this recorder to its full potential. I only use it for one microphone setup, and this is the DPA 5100, which is a 6-channel surround system. And then all what I do is I plug in all the channels that we have here, which are 6 in here, and then we still have 2 channels left. And that's interesting if I just want to use with a shotgun microphone, or maybe even hydrophone recordings and then link them all together. This is all possible here, but I don't really do that. I really just use it for this, and then everything else I would use either with the Zoom recorder, or the Schoeps is exclusively for the MixPre 6. And then of course we have all the other recording devices. So when I do this, I really have my bag with all this gear in one, and this is just for here, for this device. But there's one big difference if you're interested, and this is about the power supply. Now here we can just power everything through a power bank using the USB-C port. If you use the USB port, you can't power more than 2 channels. So make sure that if you use a power bank, you do USB-C, then you can link all 4 channels. Here on this one, first I thought this is possible, but no, here we have a Hirose connector, and then all what I do is I have a small rig battery, and then I connect this, and then I can power all 6 or 8 channels without any issues. So if you want something that has more than, let's say, 4 channels or even 6, then the MixPre 10 is definitely a great option for you. So there you have it. These are all the 32-bit recording devices that I use today. And whether you're just starting out or you're already really deep in your recording journey, remember one thing: gear doesn't define your success. You define your success. Now, while making this video, I asked myself one question: when did I enjoy recording the most? And don't get me wrong, I love to record sounds, but when I use smaller gear, budget-friendly or more affordable gear, I still feel like I have more freedom, I feel more adventurous, I don't really have to think about where I want to go, I can just go out and record sounds. On the other hand, larger setups makes me more focused and deliberate, but it also limits me of the places that I would like to go. Both approaches have their value, and it's all about finding what works best for you. One thing is for certain, and this can apply to many things: you don't need the most expensive gear to start something amazing. Start with what you have and keep exploring and recording. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any more questions, feel free to leave them for me in the comments down below, and I can't wait to see you in our next video.